Who is this band that has toured with American football and played shows with Dinoisaur Jr. and has a tour with Silver Sun Pickups next year? That would be Hello Mary. Yes, Hello Mary, the poster right here, right next to me that I've been having in all my videos. I think it's finally time I talk about the band that's always chilling right next to me. Hello Mary is an alternative rock trio from Brooklyn, New York, signed to the New York City record label French Kiss Records, a band that formed around 2019. Band members that include the singer Helena, bassist Michaela, and drummer Stella. An incredibly young band with copious and humongous amounts of talent. I like to describe Hello Mary as a band who lives in harmony heaven. Before I talk about the music though, I kind of want to dive into where and when I heard about this band. It all goes back a couple years ago when I started making videos on TikTok. I would only make videos about this grunge genre, you know, all the Nirvanas and Alice in Chains and all this stuff. And for some reason, a lot of people started following me and I started having a little fan base or whatever, which by the way still surprises me to this day. But anyways, with all those followers that I was getting, there was a bunch of people DMing me about band recommendations and just bands in general. One of those DMs I came across, they recommended a band called Hello Mary, and they were describing the band as a young band that's from, you know, Brooklyn. And I was like, that sounds like a cool name, you know? Let me just check out the band, see what's up. And for some reason, when I looked up the band, I screenshotted their monthly listeners, but then I started to listen. The only material they had at that point was an album called Ginger and a bunch of tracks that I was going to digest. Okay, first impressions though, I remember the band had a lot of energy, and their most streamed song to this day is the song Ginger from that album. And that song is quite literally very catchy and very energetic and very raw. But once I started listening to the whole album, I was more gravitating towards the softer and sorrowy type of songs that they had, like Mary and the song A Letter. I can hear and feel a beautiful sadness, and it was just pulling me into that little stratosphere for some reason. And to be honest, it felt like they excelled a lot more on this side compared to the raw, you know, fast-paced, riff-hitting, you know, just riffs and songs like that. The songwriting seemed so mature for a band that started out when they were literally in high school, and that's something I've always admired about this band. I guess the approach to their music was a lot better than the bands that were coming out at that time. The vocal talent aligned with the instrumentational talent. I don't even know if that's a word, but the instruments, you know what I'm saying? Everything just like lined up perfectly. It kind of seemed like they were prodigies or something like that. So Ginger being their only workout at the time, I was kind of just blown away because bands don't usually find their feet so fast like Hello Mary did. It kind of takes a couple EPs, a couple singles, maybe an album or two, and then they find their identity. But this band, right from the get-go, already had an identity. And I'm not saying Ginger was a perfect 10 out of 10. I guess I just saw a lot of potential within the band because they were so young and just had this charisma and honestly talent, you know, artistically speaking and everything. Ginger released in February of 2020, and they wouldn't release anything else until 2 singles in 2021. Those singles were called Take Something and Evicted. And at that point I was replaying Ginger like crazy because, you know, that's all they had, and I just needed something new. And I knew there was other bands I could listen to, but just speaking about Hello Mary, I kind of needed a new taste. I'm not saying it was boring though. I just knew they were cooking something up, and they didn't disappoint me. Take Something was released in May of 2021. It really just sounds like a ghost haunting the prettiest New York City apartment. The distortion is utilized in such a bendy way. It's a real big old jumble of noise, but it's not like hitting you for no reason. It's kind of having a purpose. It's kind of having a reason. It's really just lined up perfectly. This was a great time when it came out, and I still listen to it to this day. Evicted released in 2021 in August, and this song has a special place in my heart. I don't know why. Just kidding, I do know why. I vividly remember waking up at like 5 a.m. and driving to work to the construction site, but before that I would just play Evicted the whole time. I'd replay it every single time whenever it was over, and I would just sing it, and to the best of my ability I would provide backing vocals. It wasn't a pretty sight, but I tried my best. The song instantly hits you in the face with a teleportation device sounding distortion and wave, and then all of a sudden everything's calm and the vocals are so sweet and so soft. The singing between Helena and Stella is the catalyst of this whole song. Very lovely stuff. Hello Mary would then release 4 singles in 2022. Now, instead of talking about each track individually, which would take forever, I'm just going to jump into the album that they released in 2023, which, by the way, was their debut record on French Kiss Records. That is very lovely stuff. Congratulations. Okay, let's talk about it. Hello Mary's self-titled album, an album I had been waiting on for, 3 years, 2 years. The tracks on here are completely hypnotizing, and I'm not saying that in a cheesy way. They kind of just sound like they're just like putting a freaking watch in front of you and just being like, but like in the sweetest way possible. The lyricism with this band never faded away, which was a great thing to see, because sometimes bands just kind of don't care after a while, but you know, they always seem hungry to me, like they want to improve and they want to do better, and they did a lot better production wise and songwriting wise and everything wise. I definitely left this whole album with a smile on my face. I was like, bro, they did it. They actually did it. The song Sink In, which I said was their best song in my opinion, I think overall in their history, it has such a memory creating riff, if you know what I'm trying to say. It's like the first time you heard 1979 by the Smashing Pumpkins. That's kind of what it sounds like to me, but it's not. It's just Sink In. And one thing I noticed about this album in particular is that they try to like step out and try to do something different, you know, something not the usual Hello Mary method way. The song Special Treat has such a creepy doll vibe. I don't know why, it just like creeps me out, but like in a good way. The last song, Burn It Out, was tremendous. It had this like cowboy westerny vibe, but it was an acoustic, somber, I don't know, it was really a good closing track to this whole thing. And that's what I love about this band. They kind of just do whatever they want, but they make it sound good. Sometimes bands just do stuff to do stuff, and they kind of weren't doing that. They knew what they were good at, and they pushed the buttons, and they killed it on this album. The stories and visuals they create with their lyrics and instrumentation just seems so effortless. I had to find the word on my notes. Effortless, that's what it feels like and sounds like. The band's chemistry is through the roof, and it's so evident, dude, because every song just sounds like a clear plan instead of just being like, okay, I have something, let's just do it, whatever. And it makes sense because it's their first album on a different label, or their new label, excuse me. It was a batch of new stuff and a new sound, and honestly, I feel like their next album is going to be way better. And I don't know. I have a feeling they're going to continue to step out of bounds. One of my favorite albums this year, I don't know if I said that already. The growth has been exciting to watch, and they've been getting a lot of opportunities as well. Like I said, they were on tour with American football for a little bit, and had a couple shows with Dinosaur Jr., which is... What? Dinosaur Jr.? Feel the Pain? Lou Barlow? Sebado? Dude, come on. No, I must talk about the live aspect, and I can have some input about this because I've seen them live once, and what a great time it was. I saw them in San Francisco, and I was kind of surprised that they actually sounded that good. I don't know why. I kind of go with no expectations of a band, and you know, probably just so I'm not disappointed if they suck. But they didn't suck, and they were actually pretty freaking good, dude. I did get a chance to finally meet them, and it was a great experience. I think about it sometimes to this day. Felt just like I've known them forever, even though I don't, but I kind of do. So yeah, it was nice that they're good people making good music, you know what I'm saying? It would have sucked if they were just like, this dude freaking stinks. I will be checking them out next year with Silver Sun Pickups in February, I believe. That's going to be rocking. That's like two different worlds colliding. It's kind of beautiful. So excited for this freaking band, dude. Next thing you know, they're going to go on tour with like Smashing Pumpkins. Bro, can you imagine that? I could see that. That'd be kind of crazy. But, you know, you got to shoot for the stars, or what's the point? I'll leave a link to their Spotify, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Their Spotify. So you can listen to their self-titled album, or if you want to look at their earlier stuff like Ginger, which was a great time as well. I'll also leave my Instagram and TikTok down below. Thank you for watching. Hello Mary, forever.